Ball Hog Demon Hunter is a deck that uses aggressive and mid-range strategies. The idea behind the deck is to get Ball Hog onto the field, and then using your Ravenous Fell Hunter, you'll end up finding that you can summon many and many copies of them. Then you can use Return Policy to get your Ravenous Fell Hunter back, and then that helps you summon more and more Ball Hogs. The Ball Hogs also provide you with lifesteal and extra healing, so you're able to survive against decks that are aggressive. And then there's also the Ferocious Fellbat, which is used in addition to the Ravenous Fell Hunter, because you can end up summoning extra copies of them as well. Some combos that you can do for the deck is you can use Infiltrate and then AoE the board and then be able to take out your opponent using that the Ball Hog shots. And the cards that you're looking for mulliganing in this deck is you're looking for Tuskpiercer, the Ball Hog, you're looking for the Grim Harvest, and you're also looking for the other of the dormant summoning cards, because that's ultimately what your early game is going to be able to summon into the deck, and then that's how you end up getting your aggressive board. In general, Ball Hog is a card that you pretty much always will play on turn 4 without any question, because of the fact that it is so powerful, and it does set you up for your other different cards as well. Something to remember is for Return Policy, you need to have actually played the card. So if you use Cliff Dive, you summon the Ball Hog, or you summon the Fell Hunter, it doesn't actually come into your pool for Return Policy. It needs to actually have come from your hand, those cards. Going into the game, I am on turn 4. I did just play my Ball Hog. I have the Tuskpiercer in my hand, but I didn't need to play it down that particular turn, simply because of the fact that I do have the last turn, because I did have the Ball Hog in my hand. If I didn't, I probably would have been playing that down, trying to search for it, obviously. But yeah, in general, that is going to be your sort of play that you'll be looking for. I do play down the Fell Hunter this turn as well, because in general, it's going to be your best turn 5 play if you do have a Ball Hog in your pool. And then that's ultimately what sets you up for the rest of the game. Cliff Dive obviously is used to provide extra burst and extra board presence in the later turns. Red card is obviously, as you can see, is a very useful card in terms of making it so you can get through divine shields, through taunts, through different minions that you're not really wanting to deal with, and it in general can provide you a lot of tempo going into your turns. So as you can see with the current turn that I am here, I do have a lot of damage on the board, and since I ended up using the red card, it ended up blocking the defense crystal, so they ended up losing 5 mana. They essentially lost their whole turn for 4 mana then. And then I'm using Infiltrate here to clear my board, and since they only had 6 health and they didn't have any minions or anything on the field, the Ball Hogs went face and cleared them. So in general, the deck does have a lot of power behind it, because of the fact that you are able to get quite an aggressive board state. That game was definitely the best that you could. Like, I was able to play everything on curve. The minions they had wasn't very useful. The red card obviously played a big role as well in terms of taking out their minions that are there. Going into this game, I am playing against a priest. I was assuming this was going to be more of a control-y archetype priest, but they ended up using a more aggressive style. So what you'll notice when I am playing against this priest is that they will end up getting quite in a significantly dominating sort of position. And with how I end up working out the board, I am pretty low on health for most of the game, so it's quite interesting how that, like, I just am hanging on the little edge of how much damage they can provide. They did just play down the 3/3 onto the field. Like, I could have used the red card or something, but in general, it's not going to be that useful. The 3/3 is, in general, going to be a card that you'll want to be just keeping onto the board. They did use the Acupuncture here, so that obviously is showing that they're going to be more of an aggressive style deck. And then they play down the Brain Masseuse, so it is definitely not a very good position to be in. I do have the Ball Hog here, so I'm going to be using that for next turn. And I traded into the 2/4 here just because I do want to be able to take out them next turn. And I just assumed that they would Like, it possibly wasn't the correct play doing it that way because of the fact that I then could use the Ball Hog to trade into the 3-3 in that sort of situation, but ultimately it doesn't end up mattering too much. Like, it obviously paid off for me in this situation because I was able to use the Aura, but ultimately you want to make it, like, that trade I shouldn't have done. I should have just hit into the 3-3 or just gone face, because the Ball Hog would have been able to clear that the next turn anyway. They end up playing down their 2-2 here. I am sitting on quite a low health total, as you can see. I'm sitting on just the 13 health. I do have my Ball Hog here, so it is going to be able to take out their 2-2, which is, you know, it's reasonable. I do also have the red card if I need to deal with their 3-3, which I end up using, just because of the fact that I don't really want them to be able to get much more of a board presence. Like, if they end up playing another spell down and then they get another 3-mana minion onto the field, it could be a significant issue for me, especially since my Ball Hog isn't in an excellent position. The 2-1 is not really very great for me to have onto the field. They end up using the Chilling Vulgin, so they're able to deal with my minions quite easily. And like, they'll be able to deal with my Ball Hog quite easily. So in general, I'm not sitting in the best of positions just because of the fact that I do need to make sure that I am keeping my health total up while also dealing as much as I can to them. They end up having quite a small hand, so like, they are using their hero power, but in general it's not really providing them with too much because of the fact that I do have the Ball Hog here, and because of the fact that I am getting that extra life back. So since I got the life steal plus also the 3 damage onto the minion too, it means that I'm getting that extra health back that I really do need. So they end up getting into a position that isn't particularly great. They, like, at the moment they have 10 damage sitting on board, so it is relatively strong. And with the hero power as well, they are getting up to a possibility of having a 6-drop card. But I still find that their hero power is a little bit too random in terms of its actual ability to really deal with things, because you find that although you have a board like this, you're not getting the cards particularly that you need. They end up using the ability, so it gets rid of their ability to be able to summon an extra 3-3 by doing that. So by silencing it, it's not like, it obviously is a strong board presence, and I am down to a relatively low health total, but it's not excellent. I do trade into the Chilling Vulgin here, and at the moment there currently is 10 damage on board. I have 11 health, so I do need to look for cards that I'm able to heal with. I could have used the Return Policy as well, which is my other card that I would play, but I'm just going to try and cycle a little bit just to see if I can end up getting a card that can get health back while dealing with their board. I end up getting the Workshop Mishap, and it's not particularly great in this sort of situation, but it will put me up enough of health to be able to stabilize going into the next turns. So I use it and then put it onto their 4-5, and then it just leaves them with 6 damage sitting on board, so it's not very likely they're going to be able to deal this 10 damage. So they end up just roping for this turn and play down the Shadow Attendant, and they don't unfortunately end up finding anything very useful. In that sort of situation, I probably would have used the hero power first, because in general your spells for later is going to be more powerful, but they ultimately ended up using it after playing their minion down. It doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, if you've enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe, and bye for now.